Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Gyan Sampada. At the end of our previous class of quantum mechanics, I had told you that in our next class we are going to deal with some commutation relations. So what actually are commutation relations? What is the significance of it? Everything we are going to study. But before going to that, we need to know about some of the important relations to solve the commutation relations. So basically there are a set of formulae which are going to help us to solve the commutation relations and finally get some result out of it. So in today's class we are going to focus on those important formulae which will be helpful for our next classes. So let's concentrate on our today's class. So first formula is the inner product of any two operators. If A and B are some operators, it may be position, momentum, angular momentum, energy, Hamiltonian or any kind of a quantum operator, then the inner product of those will be equal to A cap B cap minus B cap into A cap. So first operator into the second operator minus the reverse one. But remember here these are the operators and not just the constants. So you can't say that A into B will be equal to B into A and just that inner product is going to vanish. No. So this will be understood in more detail while actually we are going to solve some commutation relations using some genuine operators. So this is the first thing, and the next one is just by replacing, that is inner product of A cap and B cap will be equal to minus of the reverse one, that is minus of inner product of B cap into A cap. So here only we can understand that both are not going to be equal to one another. So we can say inner product of B cap and A cap will be equal to B cap A cap minus A cap into B cap. So both are not equal to one another. They are just going to vary with a negative sign. That is, just by interchanging the places of the operators, the sign is going to change. Coming to the third one is when we are having three different operators. Let us say A cap, B cap and C cap. So the inner product of A cap and B cap into C cap will be equal to B cap into inner product of A cap C cap plus inner product of A cap B cap into C cap. So how to remember these? It looks something like a simple distributive law only, but only we need to remember the placing of the operators. That is, if you consider the first term, A cap is as it is within the brackets, but in the second term we are having two different operators B cap and C cap. So if you are writing C cap, then B cap has to be written outside the bracket but with respect to the position, that is in B cap into C cap, B cap is in the left hand side. That's why when you are writing in the RHS part, B cap should be in the left hand side of the inner product. And there is another possibility also, that is inner product of A cap and B cap if you consider, then the operator C cap will be coming outside, and in B cap into C cap we can observe that C cap is in the RHS. So here also C cap is going to lie on the right hand side of the brackets. Similarly, we are having fourth formula where we are considering inner product of A cap B cap with C cap. Here again the same thing, there will be two terms with a positive sign in between, and within the brackets C is going to remain as it is, and first place one we will be having A cap and another one will be B cap. So first if you consider B cap within the brackets, then the remaining A cap is in the LHS part, so we need to write A cap first and then the brackets, plus next we are writing A cap first within the brackets. B cap is in the right hand side of A cap B cap, that's why B cap comes outside the brackets. So clearly we can observe the position or the places of the operator is very important and they cannot be interchanged. So when taking an operator outside, if it is present on left hand side, then it needs to be written on left hand side of the bracket, and similarly if it is on right hand side, then these are to be written in the right hand side only. So these are the two cases where we have three different operators. And there is another case also where we can observe three different operators but with a plus or minus sign, that is inner product of A cap with B cap plus C cap or B cap minus C cap. In that case we can just simply write it as inner product of A cap B cap plus or minus inner product of A cap C cap. So it is simple, but only we need to remember when it is multiplication, places cannot be interchanged. Coming to the sixth formula, if we are having any constants with the operators, then how to write it? So whenever there are constants, the places can be interchanged. That is, if we are having inner product of C A cap and B cap, then we can write it as A cap, then we can write it as inner product of A cap with C into B cap, or else the constant can be taken outside the inner product because it is just going to multiply with the answer whatever you get when you use formula number 1, and that will be equal to C into inner product of A cap and B cap. So here everywhere we need to use the formula 1 wherever we are having inner product. So each and every operator, if let us say A cap is the momentum operator, then we have already derived the operator corresponding to momentum, which is nothing but minus I h cross into del, or if it is along x direction, Px cap will be equal to minus I h cross into dou by dou x. The same thing will be substituted, that is the value of the operators will be substituted and solved using the wave function, which will be discussed in our next class. So let us come to another very important formula where we are having four different operators: A cap, B cap, C cap and D cap. In that case we are having totally 4 terms when we solve it. That is, we need to collect all the combinations whichever are possible. So we can say these are the combination of formula number 3 and formula number 4. So to remember the solution for this formula, we need to just understand what is the type of arrangement which is going to take place. First point is that within the brackets we need all the combinations, that is A with C, A with D, then B with C, B with D. And for each combination, whichever operator is remaining out of 4 has to be written outside the bracket with respect to the position. That is, if B is in the right hand side in the first term, then in the solution part B will be coming on right side of the bracket, and if it is in the LHS part, that is if A cap is taken outside, then it will be written in left side of the bracket. This is the technique how we need to write the relation. So first let us take the combination of A cap and C cap, then B and D both are in the RHS part. So here also outside the bracket in the right hand side we have to write plus, then taking the combination of A cap with D cap, then C is in the LHS part, so writing in the left hand side, and B cap is in the right hand side of the term, so it has to be written on right side, plus the next combination, that is B with C and B with D. So when we are taking B and C, their inner product, then A cap will be coming in the left side and D cap will be coming in the right side, that is the third term, plus the last combination where inner product of B and D is involved and the remaining one is A cap and C cap, and both are in the left hand side of the terms. That's why when we are writing in the solution part, A cap into C cap has to be written on the left side of the brackets. So this is how we need to remember the formula, or we can say relations, to solve any type of commutation relation. Only thing is that no combination has to be left, as we can see here in formula number 7, and only we need to take care of writing the operators in their correct places, that is left side or right side. But next the question arises, the formula is fine, we are having different operators, we can write the commutation relations also, but what actually is the significance or use of these commutation relation is the question. So in quantum mechanics, these commutation relations are very important, and if you understand the significance of these relations easily, based on the commutation relations you can conclude many results. So let us understand what actually is the use of these relations. Let us say when we are taking the inner product of two operators, that is inner product of A cap and B cap, then if when you solve it using the formula, that is A cap into B cap minus B cap into A cap, and if the solution comes up equal to 0, then we say that operator A and B are commuting. Then we say that operator A commutes with operator B. So what actually this commuting mean? The simple meaning is that these two operators can be measured simultaneously. That if you take any time, let us say t, then at the same time t, the operator A cap as well as the operator B cap can be measured. And if A cap and B cap, their inner product is not equal to 0, that is it is having some constant values or any other value except 0, then A cap and B cap are said to be non-commuting. So they do not commute with each other, and in that case we can say that these two operators and the variables corresponding to these operators cannot be measured simultaneously. So at a given time both the parameters cannot be measured. At a time only one parameter can be measured and others needs to go for later time durations. So this is what is the significance of commutation relations, and I know just by understanding this theory part, visualization is going to be a little bit difficult, but when you solve the problems using the actual operators, it may be momentum, position, angular momentum, etc., then the grasping is going to become more and more easy for you. So it is again an interesting topic through which actually the uncertainty principle also can be explained, where we say the position and the momentum of a particle cannot be measured simultaneously. So why that happens, the mathematical framework is given using the commutation relation, and those things will be calculated or understood in detail in our next class, where we are going to solve different commutation relations using different operators. And as we are studying it under the heading of angular momentum, commutation relations where angular momentum operators, their components are involved, all these things are going to be done. So till then, study well, grasp all these formulae so that the next class is going to be more helpful for you. And this is for today's class. Thank you for watching.